Call the Broken Arrow City Council meeting to order. We have invocation by Pastor Pittman.
Thank you, Lord, for the city of Broken Arrow. Thank you for our civil servants, for their hard work and their sacrifice. Would you give to them wise and discerning hearts to skillfully govern the people of our city? In tonight's meeting, would you give our city council and leaders at every level of our city the grace to solve problems, to distinguish between right and wrong, to bring truth, order, stability, and prosperity to our community, and that would happen efficiently tonight. Father, we want to pray for all of our Broken Arrow students as they go through the graduation process tonight. We're praying, Father, for safety for them. We're praying for a blessing on them in their future life. Would you give the people in our community a spirit of unity? May we treat the poor and the marginalized among us with respect and fairness and love. And Lord, we give you this city. May it honor you and may it be a blessing to others. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. All right, roll call.
Pickle. Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. Please stand and join Councilor Green for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Attention. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
The motion and a second. Roll call. All right. Item 7 is public hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, and awards. Item 7A is a presentation of letter of recognition for Paul Gerner and Kurt Klein for their years of service with Camp Bandage. Councilor Ford, do you want to share?
Yes, thank you. Actually, we have a video we're going to play. Sorry. This is really a throwback here. Kurt, you'll appreciate this.
Motion 33 and backer to 78. Motion 33. Motion 33, 400 North Aspen Avenue. Lutheran Church parking lot, 2 vehicles. Back parking lot behind the church.
What we're going to do today is we're going to show you a little bit of what happens when we have to respond to a major traffic collision. One of the things I'd like to point out, we had 6 patients, unfortunately one that didn't make it, but we had 5 others that had to be extricated and transported. That was all accomplished in a matter of 15 minutes.
I think our firefighters and police officers need a round of applause, don't you?
We are at Camp Bandage today, and we're learning all kinds of safety tips today. Welcome
South 71st on Aspen at Camp David.
Hip hop house. Okay, thank you. So that was a throwback from 2009 when we had Camp Bandage at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And so we did that there for several years and then moved it to the events park, which we love the events park and we didn't think we would ever want to move. And then they had it at the community center and now I think they love being at the community center. So don't know where they're going to end up landing, but I have a couple of certificates of recognition. I'm going to go ahead and read them to you and then I'm going to have you come forward, okay? The first one will be for Paul Gerner. On behalf of the City of Broken Arrow, we would like to recognize Paul Gerner and his work in keeping Camp Bandage going in our community. Started in 1983 by Dr. A.L. Gerner and his wife Shirley, that's Paul's parents. The program was born from their experiences treating children injured in the common accidents. They transformed their knowledge into a free, hands-on safety camp that taught kids how to avoid and respond to injuries. Even today, its impact serves as a reminder of the importance of the community-driven safety initiatives. And the same thing, Kurt, yours says the same thing. So one thing I really want to say too is like they do this free of charge. It's a nonprofit, so they do have to raise money, like to pay for tents and some other things, but they do not get paid to do this. And they've been doing it for so many years. So something that we did not put on the agenda, Paul and Kurt, is that we're actually giving you a key to the city, each one of you. And so come on down. Here's your key to the city. We don't get about very many of those. Congratulations. Here's that. And Paul. Here's your certificate and your key to the city. And do it the right way here. Mr. Merrill, telling me I can do it right. Do you all want to come down?
Sure.
Congratulations, you guys. Thank you for doing that for our community. Oh, sure. Yeah, say something about they're coming down. Go ahead. Go ahead. Right here. Why don't you stand right here with that microphone slot? You can bring it here. Yeah, just turn it right around. Thank you.
Camp Bandage has been here for 42 years this year. My parents, and it's still very emotional for me, but this was their legacy. And seeing that legacy just continue to expand. This gentleman right behind me right here, since 2003, has been the director of Camp Bandage, and he has been carrying on what they have done or what they had started. And he has made it a great thing for Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow, we love Broken Arrow, okay? The community is an awesome community, and I believe it was today that we were named number 12 within the community, or within the United States. That's awesome. And we appreciate you. We love each and every person in this city. And this city is a great city to live in. Thank you.
I can tell you one of the reasons why we are number 12 in the nation is because of things like Camp Bandage. Absolutely cannot thank you guys enough for what you guys continue to do year after year.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
stuff, okay.
I know.
All right. Item 7B, approval of and authorization to execute a proclamation declaring May 2025 as Lupus Awareness Month in the city of Broken Arrow. Counselor Ford, you
Okay.
get to say all the whereas.
No, yeah. Well, you don't get a key to the city, but you do get a really cool proclamation, okay? All right. Whereas lupus is a severe and unpredictable anti-immune disease that can cause life-threatening damage to any organ in the body, and whereas lupus is a golden health problem that affects millions of young women, men, and children of all nationalities, races, ethnics, genders, and ages worldwide, and whereas there remains low public awareness and understanding of lupus symptoms and health effects relative to its significant impact on the lives of the people with lupus. And whereas many primary care physicians are not fully aware of all of the signs and symptoms of lupus, causing people with lupus to suffer for many years before they can obtain a diagnosis and begin treatment. And whereas people with lupus need access to medical specialists and high-quality multidisciplinary care, including emotional, psychological, and social care, and whereas there is an urgent need to develop tools that will improve patient and physician communications, and whereas medical research efforts to find the cause of lupus create useful tools to monitor disease activity and develop more targeted and tolerable treatments are underfunded in comparison with diseases of similar magnitude and severity. And whereas there is a deep unmet need worldwide to educate and support individuals affected by lupus, including their family members and caregivers. Now therefore be it resolved that May 2025 is hereby designated as World Lupus Month in the city of Broken Arrow, on which lupus organizations around the globe call attention to the need of increased public and private sector funding for medical research on lupus education programs for health professionals and improved access to quality medical care for people with lupus. And if you all would like to come down, so I was at an art show, actually, and she said, hey, do you think there's a way we could get lupus recognized? And I said at a city council meeting, I'm like, absolutely. So come on down, I'll give you your proclamation. And is it your daughter? Yes, yes, okay. There you go. Okay. Do you want to say anything?
At all. But I want to say thank you to you, Ms. Lisa Ford, for not only listening to the story, but taking action. And I want to say thank you to the city of Broken Arrow. I'm hoping that this continues to bring awareness in regards to lupus, to the doctors, and to the public. So we appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. It's my job.
So this is Deloitte, and obviously he's one of our police officers, except for she's the one who approached me.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm the topic too.
We do? Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion. Oh, I'll second it, Justin.
Yes.
No, you're fine.
I just
I'll make a
second.
motion to approve and authorize the execution of proclamation that just went off the screen, declaring May 2025 as Lupus Awareness Month in the city of Broken Arrow.
And I seconded it.
Roll call. All right, item 7C is presentation of upcoming public safety micro survey. Aaron?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilors Green and Ford, City Manager Spurgeon, Aaron McCulloch, Director of Communications for the City of Broken Arrow. Happy to be with you tonight to talk about the upcoming public safety micro survey that will be launching likely early in June. I'm going to go back to the comprehensive survey in 2024 that we did. Public safety was very well received by the citizens of Broken Arrow. As we discovered, it was the most important facet of community livability. They rated it 93%, well above everything else. And they said they gave it a score of 83% as far as the quality in which our first responders, our fire department, our police department, our emergency management teams, and how they actually provide that service. That really kind of coincides with a couple of different reports that came out nationally last year, in which we were ranked number 1 and number 9, with safety being a very key component in those things. And then, of course, as we heard earlier, we also had a recognition today. However, I won't go into detail because I assume the mayor, I don't want to steal her thunder. I'm sure she wants to talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But In that report, also public safety was a key component. So the focus of this micro survey is going to be on 5 different things: our police services, fire services, emergency management services, ambulance, and the training campus master plan that you accepted last year, if I remember correctly. I think it was in October. One of the things we're going to do, we're actually going to ask, since it's been about 1.5 years since that survey, we're going to ask about the quality of services for these 5 different areas as well. Folks are going to be able to rate them excellent, good, fair, poor, or don't know. Just a good idea, just to see how things have changed in those about 16, 17 months. These are going to be 3 separate questions in which we ask them to rate the level of importance. The first one, cost of acquiring and equipping new fire trucks and ambulances, more outdoor warning siren system improvements, and the expansion of the Broken Arrow Animal Shelter. They'll be able to rate these with essential through not at all important. 5 different ways they can rate it. Then we're going to ask about that public safety training campus. There are 8 different components to that master plan that we're going to ask about. 2 classrooms, the fire storage facility, the training streetscape, the burn buildings, the indoor fire range, the high-speed skills course, and the slow speed skills pad. That's a mouthful. These will also be rated essential, very important, somewhat important, and not at all important. Like the other 3 micro surveys before, you may remember roadway improvements, pedestrian infrastructure, connectivity, and then parks and recreation. These are very brief surveys, not meant to take a lot of time. We estimate it'll take about 5 minutes for folks to complete these. We'll let it go for 3 weeks, just as we have for the others. And then, of course, I'll be back here probably, I think you only have 1 meeting in July, actually. So in that meeting in July, present those results to you for that. And like all the others, all the results are on the city website there at brokenarrowok.gov/survey. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
Just have a comment and not to get into what the mayor's going to discuss or do whatever, but when I heard about that today, your department's the first one I thought about now. There's a lot of things in the city that's, you know what I mean, that adds up. But one of the things is just being able to get community feedback, having the community involved with the decisions, and so it's pleasing to the community and it's pleasing to us. So your department and what you do in these surveys was the first thing that came to mind to me.
Well, thank you, Vice Mayor. Appreciate that. We're only as good as the people that we work with and for, and so I appreciate those comments.
I was just going to echo what Johnny had said too, because I know this is a lot of work for you, but I think this also lets our citizens have a voice, which is important to all of us for sure, because we like that transparency. And, you know, sometimes they may not even think they have a choice or, you know, have a say, and now they do. So I just want to thank you and your team for everything you do with these surveys.
Thank you, Counselor. I appreciate that. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out Chief Jeremy Moore, Chief Lance Arnold, and Director Jamie Ott. They were instrumental in helping with this. Engineering construction, Shannon Marshall, she was very helpful as well. And so, like everything, it's a team effort.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item 7D, update on general obligation bond package. Michael Spurgeon.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of Council, good evening. Just briefly, I want to mention that right now we are on schedule as we plan for the 2026 bond package vote on April 7th. And the only thing that I wanted to report tonight is the steering committee is meeting. They've had their 3rd meeting, and they're going to have 2 more meetings that are going to be coming up. I understand there was some great engagement going through the book this last meeting, getting through the propositions. And I'm pleased to announce that on June 18th, there'll be a special meeting of the City Council. It's going to be an all-day meeting. And at that meeting, the council is going to hear from all the user groups that have made requests, as well as go through the proposed projects that have been presented for your consideration, which is a culmination of results of the survey, results of conversations and meetings with citizens from the directors, and also projects that were included in the last bond package that did not make the August of 2018 vote. And so it's going to be a full day of the council. I appreciate your making time for this, and it's all leading up to the public forums that we will be holding at the end of August and during the month of September. That's all I have.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Item 8 is citizens' opportunity to address council, and there is none. Item 9 is general council meeting, or business. 9A, consideration, discussion, and possible action to accept the Drainage Advisory Committee's recommendation to council to expend funds to construct improved channelization measures along the banks of the tributary to Covington Creek, contingent upon all adjacent property owners' agreement and execution of drainage easement for the construction of the project. Sarah, I should have let you read all that.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, councilors, and Mr. Spurgeon. My name is Sarah Walters. I am a stormwater project manager in the engineering and construction department. The item brought before you is the Covington Creek Bank Stabilization Project. This case was brought before the Drainage Advisory Committee on April 28, 2025 for the construction funds, and the committee voted 7-0 to recommend approval of the expenditure of funds. The project is to address erosion along the banks of Covington Creek tributary. This case was first brought to the DAC and recommended on July 27, 2020, and council approved design funds to mitigate the creek on August 18, 2020. This required a 404 permit with the Army Corps of Engineers, and it took approximately 3 years to obtain the permit, and that was executed by the city on April 17th of this year. City staff recommends accepting the DAC's recommendation to expend $500,000 in construction funds contingent upon all adjacent property owners' agreement and obtaining a drainage easement for the construction of the project. This is a shared cost between the Forest Ridge HOA and the City of Broken Arrow. The total project construction cost estimate is approximately $1.2 million. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and the design engineer is also here to answer any questions.
I guess my only question is, in the document that we have, it said that the residents that showed up for the meeting, they were all in favor of it, but we were going to reach out to members of the neighborhood that weren't able to attend. Did we ever hear anything back from those?
So we have met with some of them. There's one homeowner that we have not met with. And for the majority of the homeowners are in favor.
Okay. Thank you.
I can tell you, I don't know if you remember this, when I first got elected, I got a call immediately, because it's my ward, about this, and so I'm glad that we're finally doing something. But, and I met the gentleman, and he was very nice, but I met this gentleman that I did not know in the middle of the afternoon, down a back walkway behind homes in the middle of the woods to look at a creek. And I got home, and my husband's like, so, we're talking about the day, and he's like, what'd you do? And I told him, he's like, you did what? And then I'm talking to Spurgeon, and he's like, you did what? Like, we have staff members that can go with you. Do not go walking in the middle of the afternoon with, so I don't do that now, but I did have heels on, and I was prepared. Like, I had an exit plan, so it was, just so you know, I stay in an orange to red level at all times, so if anyone's watching and is curious. So, anyway. Bottom line, I'm just super excited that this is finally, something is happening with this, because the erosion is insane. Like, it's insane, so, yes. So, is there no further discussion or questions? Entertain a motion.
Wait a second. Do you
What?
have a couple speakers?
Oh. Well, sorry, I did. Well, I had Joy Thorpe, doesn't want to speak, but she is in favor of this item. And then is Joe Robson here? There he is.
I'm sorry, I should have.
Yeah,
I thought
no.
you saw that.
Yeah.
I saw him signing it.
Good evening.
Evening.
I'll be brief. This is a problem that's existed for 50 years.
Oh.
And I just appreciate you all considering this allocation, because it will help the erosion and hopefully solve some other problems out there as well. So I appreciate your support if you so desire.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
going through it on the Drainage Advisory Committee, I had a little bit of problem, and the city's not involved with it, wasn't involved with that 50 years ago with the development of that.
Right.
And for the council's information, from what I understand, the creek channel was moved. It wasn't made to be moved. So what happened, you've got houses now in the old creek channel that used to be there. So that creek was supposed to go on straight, but there's no way you can change it now. You couldn't condemn the houses and do it because the Corps wouldn't let you, because it's a major creek going through there. So the creek comes down and turns. The city's involvement, I feel like, is we allowed the subdivision to go in, which adds a little bit to it now, the flooding to it, and adds it to it. And we still want to protect our infrastructure, our sewers and everything that's in there. So
Right.
even though we weren't involved with that, I think it's right for us to go out of the way. It's money well spent. We don't want the mayor to have to run back up in there anymore, and just try to protect that to make it last for a long time.
Yeah.
Because that creek just didn't want to turn. It's made to do that. So, and I appreciate the homeowners association going in with it. So
Yep.
it is everybody working together on this.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'd make a motion that we approve it.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Mayor, can I make a?
Yep.
I'm going to put a shameless plug in. This is why we need Proposition number 6 in 2026.
Exactly.
I mean, with all the things I think back that the council has that really made a difference, it's actually using that state statute to be able to, and it actually takes 60% of the voters to approve that, and it was around 74%, because folks understand the importance of this. And so it's one of the things I'm very proud of, that we're able to help
Right.
public and private property.
Right.
So thank you very much.
We couldn't even have got in there legally without it, let alone with the
Can
money.
you elaborate on what proposition number 6 is for the folks at home?
Actually, the city has traditionally always included a proposition regarding stormwater, and there were 2 or 3 problems back in 2017 that there was water that was from a private source onto public property, and that you're prohibited from spending public dollars on private property, and there is a state statute that allows you to do that, provided you go to your voters and the voters approve it. So Proposition number 6 in the 2018 bond package appropriated a few $1 million to actually address those multiple problems. It, like I said, it got around 74% of the voters' approval. That money was being spent. And then the council decided to create the Drainage Committee, which actually projects that qualify are brought from the Engineering and Construction Department to the Drainage Advisory Committee to be presented. And if in fact it's approved, there's a couple of council members on there, then it comes before the council as this evening to be able to encumber those funds to basically either partner or to complete those improvements.
All right, item B is consideration, discussion, and possible approval of and authorization to execute a professional consultant agreement with CEC Corporation for the Tucson street improvements from Olive to Aspen. Travis.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, City Manager. Travis Small with the Engineering and Construction Department. I'm happy to be here tonight to present a possible engineering contract for approval before Council tonight. We know that the conditions of the existing infrastructure on Tucson are in need of addressing, as well as all of the development that's going on out in the area. These are reasons we wanted to look at possibly improving that stretch of roadway. So the Engineering and Construction Department put together a request for qualifications. We had submittals from numerous engineering firms on that request for qualifications. We evaluated those qualifications and selected CEC Corporation as the consultant to begin negotiations with. We've since negotiated a contract with them, and that's what you see before you tonight. This contract will include looking at different alternatives for this roadway, whether it needs to be a 3-lane or a 5-lane, looking at possible storm sewer, upgrades to infrastructure such as water and sewer, and also looking at utility relocations. There are several drainage structures, including, I believe, 2 bridge-linked structures, which will need to be addressed. The project also includes addressing the intersection at Olive and looking at possible alternatives as in a roundabout or a signalized intersection. So we have brought this to you tonight. We think this is a good negotiated contract, and it's up for your possible approval tonight, and I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions or discussion?
I just say, I live out this way, and I think this intersection specifically in the street's very important. We see trucks dumped off, you know, because they can't make the turns there, and their wheels get lost in the ditch, so it's very important that we do something to improve this for our citizens and all those who travel through this area.
And I promise if we look at a roundabout, we'll make sure it works better than a recent one that was built.
Yeah. We didn't do that one, though.
Yeah, we didn't do that one.
That's true.
For the record.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir.
I'll make a motion that we approve the authorization to execute a professional consultant agreement with CEC Corporation for Tucson street improvements from Olive to Aspen, including the intersection improvements at Olive Aspen.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Sorry. Second.
All right. Item C, consideration, discussion, and possible award the lowest responsible bid to Mammoth Sports Construction for the construction of the Neenheis football synthetic turf fields. Shannon, how do you say Neenheis? Do you say Neenheis?
I say Neenheis.
Yeah. Okay.
I grew up in Broken Arrow, but on the edge, off on Garnett, over close to
Ninehouse
Kensler.
or Neenheis?
How do you all say it?
Neenheis.
I call it knee-highs.
Yeah.
I was actually there for the groundbreaking. That's how long I've been around, not quite as long as Johnny, but I know they pronounce it knee-highs. Okay, it was
Knee-highs?
family.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, just wanted to put that on the record. Sorry.
Okay.
There you go.
The North Community Center.
Yes.
Yeah, north, central, maybe potentially south, back to the
Yes.
Go Bond, maybe.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's focus on
Shameless
Neenheis. Neenheis is part of the 2018 Go Bond project. We are looking at converting grass football fields, football and lacrosse fields, and converting them to synthetic turf fields. Those provide longevity for practice time, especially during rainouts, as we recently had this past week, as the fields drain storm water down beneath them and then transfer them out through stormwater improvements, and then also during severe weather, and then it makes it available and easier for it makes it easier for a lot of the parents and things like that and kids these days. Highly competitive. We have lots of great tournaments out here. So we're looking at continuing those improvements and renovating fields 1 and 4. And so with this, at last council meeting, Charlie had presented an item. We did receive multiple bids, and the lowest bid financially deemed unresponsible because they missed a couple items in their bid. So now we are looking to award it to the second lowest bidder, with his Mammoth Sports Construction, for a total of $1,636,192. Oh, sorry, $1,560,739. I read the wrong number. So city staff is recommending we award it, and I'm here to answer any other questions that you may have.
So it's 1 and 4, not 1 through 4.
Correct.
Okay.
Fields 2 and 3 had already been renovated to synthetic turf.
I just wanted to make sure that was said. And then about what's the lifespan of this once we install it?
Synthetic turf usually runs about a 10-year lifespan before the majority of the field turf needs to be replaced.
All right.
And that's the number it's had for quite a while, 10 years. You know what I mean? It lasts about 10 years.
And of course, it doesn't require any mowing or anything like that. So that's
I did visit with several people on making sure the injuries and stuff, because I hear questions both ways. And it was affirmed that the kids are not injured anymore on the turf field, and actually it's safer, so I was pleased with that too.
They do have a grip resistance rating and things like that that goes all into the making of the turf and the fabric that binds
Sure.
the turf.
Right.
And a lot of schools around the area also have turf fields, so if they're playing, and other fields, so if they're playing in tournaments and traveling, a lot of these kids are familiar with synthetic turf.
All
All righty, thank you.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to give the bid to Mammoth Sports Construction. for the knee-high football fields,
I'll
1 and 4.
I'll second.
All right. Item D, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of and authorization to execute Resolution 1658. Amanda.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Mr. Spurgeon. Amanda Yamaguchi, Planning and Development Manager. This resolution is to update the comprehensive plan to be in line with the zoning ordinance, which is one of your next items coming up. So essentially, we changed the text of 4 pages to update the zoning ordinance to be in accordance with the new ordinance that you'll be adopting this evening. No other text changes, just bringing it into compliance with everything else.
And I'd like to point out that we're not changing any of the comp plan itself, just the terminology to bring it up to date with the plan. So anybody that thinks that that the comp plan's changed next to my house, it's not. It's just how it's been identified in the new zoning ordinance is being replaced and put in there.
There were specific references on those 4 pages to zoning districts, so those were updated in accordance with the new zoning ordinance.
Right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to authorize to execute resolution number 1658.
I'll second that motion.
With a motion and a second, roll call. Thank you. Item E, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of Comp 2056-2025, Lynn Corner. Amanda, again.
Yes, I'm back. This is a comprehensive plan amendment to change the comprehensive plan on approximately 23 acres from levels 3 and 4 to all level 3. This property is currently unplatted and located at the northeast corner of Washington Street and 9th Street. If this comprehensive plan application is approved, the applicant does intend to come back with a rezoning application to RS4. They did provide a conceptual plan. It's not a PUD, just a conceptual layout showing approximately 68 lots. This was reviewed by the Planning Commission on April 24th and was voted, recommend approval. We did have one individual from the neighboring community come out. She had concerns about loss of privacy, the land behind her house, property values, those types of things. I believe the applicant is present and I can answer any questions you might have.
Did the Planning Commission, did they all vote yes for this?
Yes, it was 5-0.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second that motion.
With a motion and a second, roll call. Item F, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of comp plan change 2091, Bell Lago.
Yes, this is a proposed comprehensive plan change from level 2 to level 3. It's approximately 17.2 acres, located a half-mile north of Houston Street and a half-mile west of Evans Road. The applicant is requesting to change this comp plan for a future multifamily project. A draft PUD was provided with your packet. Just to kind of bring this into compliance, the property just south of the area identified is already level 3, so the applicant is requesting to bring this into the same comprehensive plan level so it can all be one development. It's 57 acres in total, so rather than kind of having 2 different things going on, they're asking to bring it all into compliance and build that out together. The conceptual PUD did show approximately 180 units of multifamily designed as single-family or duplex-type units. And then there are 24 duplexes in that white area that you see. There is a significant floodplain between the proposed development and the residential neighborhood to the east, so that would be maintained as a green space, reserve area that could not be built on. So,
Is that theirs or ours?
it belongs to the
Homeowners Association?
parts of it belong to the Bell Lagos Homeowners Association. Parts of it belongs with this developer. The parts that were
But
with
it's-
Bell Lago are already in reserve areas in there.
But it's not ours, any of it.
We don't own it, no.
That's what I meant, the city.
Yes,
All right.
correct, sorry.
I've had a lot of citizens that do not want multifamily right there, so I have a lot of concern about that. So
Is there anyone here to speak on it?
No.
I will say we did have 4 individuals come and speak at the Planning Commission. Their concerns were the multifamily, traffic, property values, loss of green space, those types of things. I will say this is kind of turned.
Yeah.
So up there on your top left corner, you see, there you go. The access into the Bel Lago single-family residential neighborhood, that will be a gated entry for emergency access only. So there will not be vehicular traffic from the multifamily going through the residential neighborhood.
I am present on behalf of the applicant.
Okay.
Okay, so there's not going to be, I was concerned because of the higher density going through the existing subdivision, but it won't be able to go through the existing subdivision.
Correct.
Is that correct?
We do need a secondary access there for fire purposes, but that will be a gated access only open during emergency events.
And so they could already develop it, with the 57 acres minus the, 17 acres?
Yep.
And
Residential.
that's the level,
Yeah.
residential.
Yeah, so the south part of what you're seeing here is already comprehensive plan level 3. They could bring in an application for a multifamily development. What they're asking is to bring that north 17.2, I think, acres in the same level so that it can all be one development.
So when you say the south part, are you talking about the south part within the dotted line or like the part
Just
below that?
right where he's circling, right
Okay.
below that, that's already level 3.
So they can already put multifamily in that.
Correct.
It doesn't look like there's any buffer zone to me between the two developments. Am I just not seeing it, or
Yeah.
we're just not requiring it?
It is the standard, I believe it's 20 foot written into the PUD buffer zone, but then there's that significant floodplain area that would act as a natural buffer. They would not be permitted to construct in. That blue area you see,
So
that's all
That's
floodplain,
not gonna be like a pond or lake, it's just flood zone.
just flood zone. And I believe the applicant's here if you'd like to speak to them as well.
Okay. All right. Yep. They can come and speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Tom Vogt, 15 East 5th Street, Suite 3800, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm an attorney. I represent the landowner. I think most of the points were covered. There is a significant flood zone that separates these properties, so there's quite a bit of separation. There would also be a screening fence along the west edge, the east edge of the development, the west edge of the bloom line. So, these properties are really going to be very well separated. One of the benefits that we've been touting to the homeowners and adjoining homeowners, which I think a lot of them have appreciated, is if the current 17 acres was developed as single-family residence, then that northern entrance would be an entrance into the neighborhood. So the traffic would flow into there, and there would have to also be another one that would bridge the flood zone and come in there as well. So this overall will reduce traffic in the neighborhood. And I think one of the other significant things to note is the concept that the property owner is going to develop on that is for, rather than, a 2 or 3 story apartment complex, it's going to be detached units, about 1,200 square feet that we've provided. We did meet with the homeowners, had a meeting at the elementary school, probably had 70 or 80 people there. It was well attended. It was a very good meeting. And we showed them the plans for the units that would be built. There would be a 2-bedroom unit, about 1,100 square feet, and a 3-bedroom unit that would be closer to 1,300 square feet. Full brick, low maintenance, long enduring, well constructed. And the builder is the same builder that built most of the houses in Bel Lago, Glenwood Homes, where again they can see the quality of the construction of what they built with good amenities and all that. But by using this plan with these detached units, the actual density will be substantially lower than if they build a typical apartment complex. So there's going to be a lot less units per acre on that property. So I think that's another big plus for this development. And there is parking provided off, parking spaces, off the street. The street will be, that was one of the other concerns, is it will be the 26-foot typical street. Parking off of that. There'll also be some carports and some garages as well. So there'll be a variety of parking options in the development.
So, and I noticed there wasn't any pictures of what the concept is going to look like in our packet.
Of the houses themselves or the units themselves?
The PUD hasn't been submitted yet, has it?
Correct. So the PUD you have in your packet is just a draft, kind of showing the conceptual layout. Were this comp plan to be approved, they would have to come back with another application for the actual rezoning and PUD, so you would see the full document at that point.
We actually wanted to present it all as one, but that's not the way that's not the way it works, I guess, right? We did not have the option of presenting the PUD with the comp change and the zoning change tonight, but we did provide the concept.
Well, usually we at least make it where the comp change can be dependent upon a PUD that we're looking at. Is that not correct, Amanda?
That is correct. That's how it was presented to Planning Commission. How it was recommended to you for approval would be approval subject to a PUD similar to what's being presented tonight being approved on the property. Otherwise, the comprehensive plan would not change.
That's what I'm saying. So this is actually kind of what's going to be built in there. Not to say something can't change, but the conceptual has to be with that because the motion will be, you know what I mean, the two kind of go together for now. So if there's any major change, then that has to come before the city council.
Correct.
Yeah, we're well established. Jeff Tunnell, the engineer, is here, and he's provided this. This is well along in the process, and this is not just some, fly-by-night conceptual concept. This is something that's, far along in the development stage. So this is definitely what we want to do.
The same property owner owns a property to the south of it that's already zoned this way, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then has there been any traffic studies? Because this is right on the curve on 81st Street, which I drive 75 times a day. But it's right on the curve down 71st that goes over the creek and such. Have there, just putting another 300 cars basically coming out right on that curve. Has there been any type, have we done anything?
So traffic studies are not required until we get to the engineering and plating phase.
Even if it could be a major safety concern?
Council can request it. Staff just doesn't have the authority to require it at this stage. If you would like it, you can make that as part of your recommendation.
But it would be done before we could actually get a plat approved, the PUD and plat approved and start work, so.
Mayor, the residents that reached out to you, was that prior to the neighborhood meeting or after the neighborhood meeting, or do you know?
When did you have the neighborhood meeting?
End of February. I think it was February
So-
28th, maybe. We brought it to Planning Commission first in January, I believe it was. And a lot of people showed up. They had a lot of questions. And the Planning Commission requested that we meet with the neighborhood and address their concerns, which we did. And like I said, it was a well-attended meeting. And there were a few people that showed up at the next Planning Commission meeting, substantially less. And so I think the vast majority of the people had their concerns satisfied. And even the people that did show up, they weren't, I don't think they were severe issues. They were things that we addressed, and they were more like questions still, a lot of them, so.
So I would say it was after that meeting.
Okay.
Because it was more lately, about a month before. Excuse me. Oh, well, sorry, you can't address right now, sorry.
I was just
Yes.
apologize. I'm
Sorry.
that I was late.
Right, we're in the middle of an item right now, and you have to be able to sign up before the meeting to be able to address the
If I
council.
have any questions during any of it?
You can, no, not at this time. Yep, sorry.
Any other questions?
Did anyone, other than maybe this gentleman, sign up to speak on this issue?
No, just on 9A.
So Planning Commission recommended approval.
5-0.
They've looked at it several times, haven't they?
Yeah, this actually came before Planning Commission once late last year. The property owner hadn't acquired the south property yet, so they came through with a request to change the comprehensive plan. Planning Commission denied it because they didn't see the contiguous property. There was also not a conceptual plan. The idea was the same, but there was nothing in writing, no conceptual PUD. So the applicant and their team went back. They have acquired all the property, and they went through and did a pretty detailed draft PUD for you guys to kind of lay out exactly what they're looking at.
Any other questions for me?
I hate to interrupt again.
Okay, sir, you can't continue to do this.
My
You,
name's Sebastian.
you spoke last meeting.
I will leave if I can't participate, but I just.
Okay,
from
sir,
where I
we are
come
in the
from-
middle of an item, and you
I
can't
understand.
address this at this moment.
Are you not open to like feedback from the public?
No, sir,
you
we're
sign
not.
up.
Yeah,
didn't
if you
sign
sign up 5 minutes before the meeting, which it clearly states on the form that you had in your hand.
I understand.
So, okay, thank you so much. Is there any other discussion?
I don't have any.
Okay. We're not asking you to leave, we're just asking you not to disrupt the meeting anymore. Thank you. All right, any further discussion or questions?
I'd make a motion that we approve the request of the applicant and go with the Planning Commission and staff's recommendation for approval for this particular Bell Lago 17.2 acres.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second, roll call. All
And
right.
If I may, just throw this out there, there will be opportunities at the next meeting when this comes back for citizens to have additional comments.
Yes, absolutely.
I will point out quickly, since the next application will be for multifamily zoning, it will have a 1/4 mile notification radius, which is quite a bit larger than for the
Sure.
comprehensive plan change, just to note that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item 10, preview ordinances, there are none. Item 11, ordinances. 11A, consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of ordinance number 3873. Amanda.
Hello again.
Hello.
All right, ordinance
just
30.
stay up here.
Yeah. Ordinance 3873 is closing a portion of a utility easement for Anthem Church. The portion in question will be underneath a new building. They have dedicated a new easement to replace it and put in the water line, so this portion is no longer in use.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
That's not a question for the general public, right?
No, sir. Thank you. At the council. Is there any questions?
No. I make a motion that we approve the ordinance.
Second?
Roll call. All right, item B, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of an emergency clause for ordinance 3873.
I'll make a motion to approve the emergency clause.
I'll second.
You have a motion and a second. Roll call. Item C, consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of ordinance number 3877. Amanda.
Yes, this is my favorite item of the evening, of the
Mine.
year, maybe.
Mine too.
Ordinance 3877 is the proposed adoption of the brand-new Broken Arrow zoning ordinance. We've been working on this for several years now, started off in 2020, really kicked it off with the public in 2021. I've been through many public hearings, public meetings, so we have it formally ready for you to adopt this evening.
Yay, okay. Any discussion?
I just thought since Johnny was so excited, I was
I
like,
know.
"Okay, make a motion."
Excited. Next to going fishing is here. Ordinance, I make a motion, we approve ordinance number 3877.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
This has been a long time. It's been my whole
It has.
term.
But we've
And
put,
before that, apparently.
but
Oh, yeah.
we have had a lot of people involved with it too. So I'm really pleased with it.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a
It's really
huge
nice to
citizen community.
see 552 pages of 5 years' worth of work
Yeah.
sitting in front of you.
Yeah, and then maybe we can change it next year. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We can.
All right, item D is the emergency clause.
Make a motion to accept the emergency clause.
Second.
Item E, consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of ordinance number 3878. Amanda.
This is an ordinance requesting the changing the zoning map for a development. The plat was filed. Zoning should be changed to RS3. This is just south of Tucson Street and west of Elm. So, just ready to change the map.
Okay. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Roll call. Entertain a motion for the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call. All right. Remarks and inquiries by governing body members.
I,
Go right
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
I'm not going to say what you're going to say. Right?
Well, if you go first, then you can beat him.
I don't want to beat him. I'm long enough that I don't have to beat anybody now.
You've been in here a bit.
I had a couple items. First item was the working between the History Museum, two nonprofits, and the Senior Center. Came about because the History Museum doesn't have the room to do their annual dinner that they have on Rooster Day. So they worked with the Senior Center, and it worked out beautifully. The two worked together. We moved the History Museum, moved their stuff in, and the Senior Center staff, a lot of them stayed and helped us clean up the mess. I mean, we didn't leave till we cleaned everything up, but it really worked out great. Not only that, I asked, and I guess it's still right, but I asked our History Museum people how much money they charged, and they didn't charge anything for us to do it. So the two working together was really great. I will say they have a pie auction. Myrna had two pies, and they went for $500. There was another pie, though, that went for $1,000. So they raised quite a bit of money with pies. I don't know that they're really that good. Myrna's not watching this tonight. But,
She might be. She might be.
She won't be watching
I'm going
it.
to text her and tell her to
No,
watch
she
it.
won't be watching. She has a chocolate pecan pie that she puts two of them in every year, and they've made a lot of money from those pies. So they really had a good time. So really had a good
The
time.
Pioneer Luncheon has been going on a long time.
has.
They call it a dinner, but
Right. Used to,
technically a
you had to
lunch.
be here for 50 years. I've been going to it for a long time now. Now it's changed. So if you're a citizen of Broken Arrow, actually, they didn't check IDs.
They did?
So
Okay.
anybody could go, but we really have to have a little bit bigger place. The other item I have is not really, it's important to me, but it was just a letter that was here at my desk that I think I'm going to read it. Not that I know everything about it, but I know a little bit. And it's from the Tulsa County Election Board. And I thought this was a good way to kind of inform everybody. The governor has also called special elections to fill the seats for Oklahoma State representatives in Districts 71 and 74. The Republican runoff primaries was May the 13th. The general elections will take place on June the 10th. Also ongoing confirmation notices are in the process of being mailed to select voters around the state who fall into one of 5 categories. So from my understanding, and when I first heard it a month or two ago, that if there was a problem, usually you've got a letter in the mail that you need to kind of clarify with the election board, because I want to make sure everybody gets to vote that qualifies. So also ongoing confirmation notices are in the process of being mailed to select voters around the state who fall into one of 5 categories. 1, the voter has not voted or updated the voter registration since before November the 1st, 2022. So if you voted since then, that I see that's not a problem, and I'm not an attorney. Number 2, the voter has the same last name, first initial, and birth date as another voter in the state. Number 3, the first-class mailing, a voter ID card or a registration application rejection notice mailed to the voter since January the 1st, 2023, was returned by the post office marked undeliverable. 4, the voter surrendered an Oklahoma driver's license in another state. Number 5, the DPS address update record indicates voter has moved out of the county or out of Oklahoma. The purpose of this address confirmation notice is to verify accuracy of voter registration address and to update as necessary. Please encourage your community members to return their cards or log into the Oklahoma voter portal within 60 days to update their information. Now, what's not on here is don't call Vice Mayor Parks about it, because you call the election board, and I'm going to give this to the city manager, or you call his office. So if there's any question.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There you go.
I do have something. So Saturday, well, is like all weekend, all things Rooster Days.
Yes.
But if anyone was at the parade on Saturday and saw the city of Broken Arrow float,
We
Ryan
won.
Bays, we won for sure. We
I
won.
don't know if there was actually a competition.
I
Is there,
think we're
is
just
there a
claiming it.
competition,
Sure there
James?
was.
Sure, you won. We won.
We won.
There you
I thought we
go.
did.
So for those of you that may have missed it, we had a carousel on our float that actually moved, like we moved with it. It was so cool.
Rotated,
We rotated.
yes.
We moved with it. We rotated with
Yes.
it. And then we had bubbles that had smoke in it that when it hit the ground, it exploded. So Ryan, you and your team, I always say there's no way you can outdo yourself, and then you
do.
outdo yourself.
Yep.
So I just want you to know how appreciative that we are, that you put so much time and effort and just passion
Yep.
in everything you do. But those parade floats, oh my
Yeah, no
goodness.
pressure, but
It was great.
are we going to ride in a what is
Ferris
it,
wheel.
Ferris wheel next year?
If you
We'll
can
all be
make,
on-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay.
If you
Okay.
can make it turn and go up and down at the same time, that'd be really neat.
Anyway,
No,
great
it was
job.
awesome.
Yeah, very good. We appreciate it.
I did not get to ride on the float because I got to be the co-announcer again, which was super fun. So
That's how we.
so thankful that they let me do that.
That's how we won.
Yeah, I was like, I think this is the winner coming up right
I
now.
heard that.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna start going first like I was planning on, but no, I'm not gonna echo everything they said, so there's no point in echoing. But I will say yesterday, we here at City Hall were blessed to have our, the Sound of Broken Arrow, which is our choir from our Broken Arrow Senior Citizen Center, come here into the chambers. And they showed their appreciation. It was National Elected Officials Day, and they recognized us, and they recognized all the city employees for all their hard work. And they sang some patriotic songs and some other songs that were wonderful. And I just wanted to say thank you to them for coming out. They did an outstanding job. And they were all volunteers, and they
Yeah.
took their time, and they practiced, and they sang multiple places around the city, and they do an incredive job.
You did an amazing job.
I didn't even know there was a national elected
I
officials
didn't either.
day.
I didn't
I didn't get a present. I would have got a present if I'd have been there to
Yes,
listen
you
to it,
would've
but I
got
was at the
songs.
zoo with my granddaughter.
Yes, you would've got songs.
Yes.
Yes. I only got 12 presents, but, you know, what can I say?
Okay,
That might be illegal.
I guess I'll go. So there was some really exciting news that came out today. Yeah. So, number 1 in the state, right?
Yes.
Number 1 in the state, and then number 12 in the nation, best places to live. Like, that's pretty amazing.
Pretty
Where?
amazing.
It was.
Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow?
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Yes.
USA.
I mean, it just goes to show the dedication of our staff and our public safety and the council and everyone working together and being intentional with planning and growth and spending 5 years on a comp plan, revision or, but that's what it's about and having Camp Bandage and having Rooster Days and so do not stop Rooster Days. But that's what creates a
Incredible
great.
employers and
Yeah.
restaurants and retail. and just-
Yeah. So that was my number
Great
one.
community.
Yeah. So that was my number one. Super excited about that. I did want to say Counselor Pickle is not here because his kiddo is graduating tonight, or he would be here. And then I put on my list, Rooster Days was awesome, and I loved it. Thank you very much. I did want to say that on Friday, we are hosting a human trafficking summit at NSUBA from 8:30 to 12 p.m. Everyone is welcome. It's just creating awareness and hearing from industry professionals regarding the epidemic that is within our nation and across the world. And then on Saturday is Avenue of Flags. And so out at Floral Haven at 10 a.m., we'll have a ceremony that the Edit General Mancino's son, is going to be the guest speaker. And at 1 p.m., it's always a great ceremony. But then at 1 p.m., the Youth on Guard Tomb of the Unknown Soldier reenactment will begin, and it will go 24/7 until Monday at 3:30, I believe. And it's really cool to go at night. So if you've not gone to Arlington, go and see these Youth on Guard at Floral Haven because they have trained with the Sentinels, and they take such pride in the precision that they do in honoring our fallen. It's quite a sight, and I'm very proud of them. So
It's rain or shine too, right?
it is. It's rain or shine. They march 24/7. It is amazing. So, and then Tuesdays in the Park starts in June. So we'll have our council meetings on Mondays, so that we can all go and be a part of the community for Tuesdays in the Park.
No ties.
Yeah, and then it starts no ties. So, yeah, or summer wear. Yeah.
June 2nd.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about the Rose Garden?
Oh, yes.
the what?
The Rose Garden Friday? No.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, you want to talk about
Go
it?
ahead, go ahead.
I want to make sure it's
No,
just
no,
talked about.
Just want to make sure it gets covered.
Okay, so Friday, I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back. But Friday, I think it's at 10, 11? What time is it? I was going to let you just say it. We're going to dedicate our Rose Garden this Friday. So we're having a little
10?
ribbon cutting at 10. Thank you. Behind the community center. It's a beautiful, I've seen pictures. It's really cool. So if anyone wants to come out to the ribbon cutting, come on out. It'd be amazing.
I do have one more thing, and it's not, I was kind of sad to hear this, but Max Smith, which was superintendent, passed away, and his longtime service to our community and our school system, but his service is on Friday at 2 p.m. at Arrow Heights Baptist Church, so if anyone would want to attend that. So, City Manager?
Well, those are some great updates. I just have three things. First off, council may remember earlier this year, voters in the Oak Grove Fire Protection District voted to actually begin paying property taxes to support their fire district and to provide the resources needed to protect them. As council knows, there's a large portion of that area that we have traditionally had some level of coverage, both fire and ambulance. So the chief is, Moore and his team have been having meetings with the leadership as well as Widener County. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, making sure it's really clear about dispatching, also with regard to providing service for folks in those areas, albeit ambulance or fire. And so we're working through all those to make sure that it's clear what is the expectation is of Broken Arrow in terms of fire and emergency medical services. So that's just a FYI for council. Secondly, is at the last meeting, there was a question about improvements on County Line Road, and I wanted to let the council know that actually, as soon as the budget is approved, assuming the council approves the capital improvement, we will actually go out starting in sometime in July and actually do a mill and overlay of County Line Road from Houston to New Orleans to actually take care of that road improvements. And I found out from Senator Gillespie and Dr. Hanley is that SB 701 is going to be heard tomorrow. And so this is a very important time. I'm not sure of the schedule yet, but that is the bill that would allow NSU to go to the State Board of Regents to be able to offer the traditional four-year classes. So, big day tomorrow at the Capitol. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. There is no executive session.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that motion.
All right, roll call.
This is my opportunity.
No, sir. You have to sign up 5 minutes before the council meeting begins, as it states on the form. All right, I call the Broken Arrow Municipal Authority meeting to order. Roll call.
Pickle. Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here?
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call. Item 5, public hearings, appeals, recognitions, presentations, and awards. There are none. General authority business. 6A, award the lowest responsible bid to Cherokee Pride Construction and approve and authorize execution of a construction contract for the South Park South Relief Line in Houston. Just Shannon, not with Kenny.
Yes. So good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Shannon Marshall, Special Projects Division Manager. Before you today is a construction bid award for 2 projects. The first one is to do a gravity relief line to the South Park South lift station and remove that lift station, which is just south of 121st along where Elm is. And this goes across a property there, which would have an easement for it. And then the second portion of this project is to do a trenchless installation, so boring of sanitary improvements at Houston as well. Combined, they received some bids, and so the 2 combined projects would be a total cost of $789,310. And we are recommending to award the lowest responsible bid to Cherokee Pride Construction. I'll answer any questions if you have any.
All right, any questions or discussion?
Make a motion, we approve the request.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Roll call. All right, any remarks by governing body members? City Manager?
I have none, Madam Chair.
There is no executive session.
We make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. Roll call. Good. That's me. Sorry. That's all right. Call the Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority meeting to order. Roll call.
Pickle. Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here?
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as it stands.
Second?
Okay. Roll call. Item 5, hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, and awards. 5A, presentation, discussion, and possible acceptance of the August 2024, March 2025 Broken Arrow Economic Development Corporation biannual report. James Bell.
Thanks for picking our float.
Well, it was the
Anytime.
best. So,
Well, good evening, Mayor Wimpy. Let's see. What's the proper title under Beta? Is it
Trustees.
trustees?
Yeah.
So good morning, or good evening, trustees. How's that?
Hi.
And City Manager Spurgeon. Hey, thank you for the opportunity to share our biannual update from the Broken Arrow Economic Development Corporation. Since our contract began in, I believe, January 1st of '24, it's been a little bit more than the 6 months for biannual, but we're moving pretty fast. On behalf of our board and our team, we want to say thank you. Thank you for entrusting us in this work that we get to do to help build our community. For those who may be watching these proceedings who haven't met yet, I'm James Bell. I'm President and CEO of the Broken Arrow Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Corporation. I don't know who has the slides, but next slide. We exist to create jobs, to grow businesses and support talent development in partnership really with the city and the chamber and education leaders and the business community. Many people think of economic development as attracting businesses, but it's more than that. Economic development is more than recruitment. We also help companies stay and grow in BA. We support entrepreneurs, and we develop and attract talent to fill high-quality, high-paying jobs, the ones that we're creating. These jobs support home purchases and local spending. That generates, of course, sales, ad valorem, and property taxes. And those fund essential city services like police, fire, emergency services, street maintenance, parks, recreation, and go bond projects like roads, bridges, flood control, public buildings, and parks. So we're a small but mighty team. I'm joined tonight by Amber Miller. She's our Vice President of Economic Development. And it's 100% true when I tell you she is one of the best in the business, hands down. Our team also includes DeAndre Fahey, who's responsible for talent and workforce. Bradley Shufi, he has responsibility for business retention and expansion. And our newest hire, Elise Goggin, if you haven't met her yet, she's fantastic. She does marketing and research. This team is relentlessly representing and supporting Broken Arrow. So let me share how. Perfect. So highlighting some of our top line numbers. As of May 1st, the BA EDC is currently assisting 10 local business expansions. That's 365 new jobs for Broken Arrow. We're currently managing 15 new business attraction projects. Those represent a potential of $150 million, more than $150 million in capital investments and more than 1,200 jobs. We've engaged hundreds of job seekers to land them at BA companies, and we're also exposing thousands of Broken Arrow students to careers in Broken Arrow companies. Next slide. So because of our engagement with local businesses, we've been able to support and announce several major expansions and the creation of dozens of high-paying, high-quality jobs. As an example, I'll peel the label off a couple of project names. So you get to see how we name our projects now to reveal a couple of companies. Project Lamp is solar turbines with their recent expansion. And then Project Burner announced a couple of weeks ago that, of course, is Zico. And at Aero Forge, I'm not going to tell you the name of this one yet, we're close to finalizing our anchor tenant, and we're hoping for an announcement, or expecting an announcement sometime this summer. Overall, we've engaged 140 plus companies in this period. We've helped expand or identify expansion sites and have supported smart strategic growth across BA. We're relentlessly engaging with our local employers to not only retain them in BA, but to help them expand and grow and create those high quality, high paying jobs. In addition to supporting the expansion and growth of the companies that are already here, we continue to attract businesses to Broken Arrow. Next slide. So Broken Arrow is turning heads statewide and nationally. We are a finalist for Project Frost, and we continue to attract other companies to come take a look. This next one's pretty neat. 4 of our 5 sites that we submitted were chosen for OK Sites Ready program. To give you an idea of how competitive we are, there were 108 applicants submitted across the state. 15 were selected. We were 4 of them. In addition to conducting site tours and collaborating with developers, we're promoting Broken Arrow nationally. Since last June, we've made marketing trips to Dallas, Chicago, New York City, Southern California. The results are in. Notable projects in the pipeline are in biotech, aerospace, and automotive supply industries. So we're relentlessly representing Broken Arrow on a daily basis to attract businesses that provide high quality and high paying jobs to our citizens. And of course, those jobs are great, but we need talent to fill them. So here's what we're doing about workforce and talent development. We've reached so far in this period nearly 3,000 students during career days, hundreds of job seekers and employers through career fairs and HR roundtables. young talent via college recruitment. We took the first trip to the Texas A&M, DeAndre did, the Texas A&M Engineering Fair. That's 30,000 students show up from that across the SEC. We're doing it through videos, through VR storytelling, and we'll be doing it through more. We're relentlessly attracting and building and retaining the pipeline of talent here in BA. And here's some ways we're doing this. Next slide. Great. For one, we've revamped bnba.com. We've launched a new job board, and we already have over 1,400 visits in the few months to that job board with 12 confirmed hires. We've done outreach to 54 local employers. We're driving national traffic and promoting BA really as a career destination. And local workers and workers around the country are taking notice. They're finding BA and they're finding the jobs here. We're relentlessly supporting them in those efforts. Next slide. New businesses drive job creation. In fact, nationally, something on the order of 65% of all new jobs are created by businesses less than 5 years old. That's been happening for decades. Year over year, that happens. So the EDC is focused on building a robust entrepreneurial support ecosystem for them. We commissioned a full ecosystem assessment with International Economic Development Council. That report led to actionable insights and strategies for supporting our entrepreneurs, and we're acting on those findings. We recently won the right to host a Broken Arrow 1 Million Cups chapter. So through this program every week, through this program every week, we'll probably get a few, but someday dozens of entrepreneurs will show up every Wednesday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. And one entrepreneur will stand up and present their company and talk about the challenges that they're facing or the next major milestone they need to achieve to move their company forward. And the folks in the room will help them out. And so that could be everything from connections to finding answers to finding experts to solving their problems.
Where are you guys going to be meeting at the chamber office?
At the chamber office for now. So we're also collaborating with partners like TEDC and Tulsa Tech to expand funding and education for entrepreneurs and young companies. Our efforts are going to include both English and Spanish language programming. The EDC team then is working relentlessly to support Broken Arrow's entrepreneurs. And, these folks may create the next sub shop. I'd love to have some kind of sandwich shop in the Rose District. Perhaps the next sub shop in the Rose District or the next great aerospace or advanced manufacturing company. Or anything in between. Next slide, Arrow Forge. Speaking of innovation, how about the Innovation District? I mentioned Arrow Forge earlier. This is a key initiative of the EDC where we're making significant, and the city, where we're making significant progress with planning, marketing, and stakeholder engagement. The city, has approved the site plan, the plat. The groundbreaking was held in October, I believe my 4th day on the job. That was fun. And for folks who have driven by the site the last few months, they've noticed all the dirt turning. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, city. They may have noticed the dirt moving because, of course, the city's building the spine road and utilities. As I mentioned earlier, Project Flight is a top prospect for anchoring this development. And that's really so important for Broken Arrow's legacy and for its future as an innovation hub. We're working relentlessly then to bring Broken Arrow out of the ground, or Arrow Forge out of the ground as an innovation district, and that will make Broken Arrow the envy of the region. And finally, last slide. Let's bring it all home with this slide. The EDC team is engaged in state and regional level advocacy through Select Oklahoma, Oklahoma Manufacturing Alliance, the Tulsa Regional Chamber as partners, and Wagner County. BNBA has earned a bronze award from the IEDC, that's International Economic Development Council. That's for the talent attraction website, BNBA, that I mentioned earlier. And of course, our Grounds for Development publication, that's our joint publication with your TED team, was published. Also, we've supported 14 research requests and pursued infrastructure grants to improve site readiness. And there's so much more. So in closing, I want to thank you again for putting your trust in my team at the BA EDC. Our board and staff are deeply grateful again for the trust that you put in us. And together we're really with the city of Broken Arrow and our educational partners and the business community. We're working relentlessly so that Broken Arrow remains a great place to live, work, and play, and a place where opportunity thrives. So thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
No question. Just want to thank you. You're doing an amazing job. Your team's doing incredible. It's so amazing to be having groundbreakings and announcements of new jobs, and it's wonderful. It's been a long overdue. So.
Thank you. Well, it's exciting to work in such a fantastic city and with a team that is, and they close your ears, Amber, because I know your head's swelling back there, but they are just top-notch professionals. I'm pinching myself every day, both on the EDC side and the chamber side, that I've somehow landed in a place where the team's incredible. And with our couple of recent additions, one at the EDC and one at the chamber, I think our team is just stellar, and it is one of the best teams in the industry from what I can tell. I might be biased, though.
Maybe a little bit, but yeah. All right, any questions or discussion?
Let me just add, Mayor, if I can. Obviously, when we renegotiated the 3-year contract, we talked a lot about deliverables and reporting, and essentially what James has done is gone right down the agreement and detailed what they're required to do on behalf of the city, which is incredibly refreshing. And to be able to read that document ahead of time that was presented and know that 365 new jobs, potential another 1,200 new jobs. I mean, just to be so succinct and so informative about because obviously the city is paying for that contract. It's really clear the transparency that exists on what's being delivered as a part of this agreement. I thank you, James, and your team.
And thank you.
I was just going to say that Arrow Forge logo was just amazing. We did so good. I love it. And, you know, I've said this before, but the mayor and I sit in on one of the meetings talking about this. She sat on a lot more than I did, but this particular meeting, you know, they just kept telling us, like, 20 years, it's going to be 20 years. And we're like, no, it's not going to be 20 years. So it's quicker than I thought it was going to be, but it's because of all the due diligence that you all are doing, and we really appreciate that.
Well, I'll tell you, we're seeing other activity from other companies with interest in Arrow Forge. Once you get that first one, and especially when sticks start coming out of the ground, I think we'll be pretty amazed about how quickly it moves. And in the scheme of things, it's a relatively small piece of land, right? Yeah. So 20 years is way, way too long.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll make a motion to accept the biannual report.
A second?
A motion and a second. Roll call.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Item 6A, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of Resolution 1656. Nate Ellis.
Good evening. Nate Ellis, Public Finance Law Group. As I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, when we adopted increment district number 6, we would be moving forward fairly rapidly with the implementation of that. Tonight, this is a preliminary authorization resolution, so it really doesn't approve much other than kind of get the ball rolling. But this actually retains an underwriter, all the remaining professionals that are related to proposed bond financing to finance the incentive related to the Increment 6 project, the Sooner Investments project. And so we've got this approval. We plan to be back at your June 2nd meeting with a formal approval by the BAEDA and the city that would authorize the issuance of bonds, and then we would proceed to have the underwriter price the bonds and close hopefully by the middle of June.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or discussion?
I make a motion we approve resolution number 1656.
Second.
Roll call. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any remarks from governing body members?
Well, I was just going to say, just to kind of touch on our EDC report, that the chamber gave us is when we were in DC, since we were just there in March advocating for our city. This last trip that we did, we definitely advocated for our manufacturing that we have here in Broken Arrow. We're the third largest manufacturing city in the state of Oklahoma, and there were some really valid points. Jenny Cawthorn with Zico did a great job presenting.
She did.
And it was good for our congressmen to know what we needed, and so hopefully they'll be able to help us do that.
Definitely.
I kind of want to add just a little bit more to that, and that is how good of meetings those are when we go. James, I just really appreciate it. You know, as I tell people, I know we worked this time with the Tulsa Chamber also as leading on it, but when you guys did it last time, it just, if people need to keep in mind, it's kind of difficult to get in the Capitol building to visit with your representatives now. It's easier sometimes just to wait here for them to come to see us. But what they did, and for the 2 days, we would go to the Capitol in the morning time and spend the day there. They had other people come in and visit with us, but in those 2 days, we had our meals served there in the Capitol. They had rooms that was available for us, and we ate our meals there. And then our representatives came in and visited with us. So they were busy voting, but they would run away from a few minutes, just long enough to talk with us.
Literally.
It was hurriedly, you know, and but a lot was learned, and it's very, very convenient. So you get to visit with all your representatives at that time. So a job well done is good.
Thank you, guys. All right, city manager?
Just one thing, Madam Chair, is I found out that the session starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we are item number 12
Okay.
on the Senate's agenda. Exciting.
Yes, you can live stream that as well, like our meeting. You can live stream it.
all
I've been
I
doing
have.
it all week, but because I've never seen it on the agenda, because they usually just tell you. So good.
Yeah. 9 a.m. Got it.
9 a.m. Yes. Good luck.
All right, there is no executive session. Entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
I didn't see that you had that letter also from the